What's going on, Fast Turn Radio watchers, listeners, replay catchers, Gompers, what's up? As I said in the pre-show, I thought about stopping with the Gompers fist bump, but it's just too much of a part of the show now. So, yeah, there it is, the Gompers fist bump. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. 2016 is here and has started. I got to take these off. I cannot see with the glasses. I just like to wear them every now and then. And shout out to okay, here's a newbie lesson for you. Don't try to give a shout out unless you got the person's name firmly in your head, which I can picture him right now, and I can't think of. But oh my God, I can't believe it. Dude in Massachusetts gave me the glasses. I know who you are, and I can't. The name is just totally escaping me, and that's embarrassing. So don't give shout outs unless you have the name firmly planted in your mind. Holy cow. Yeah, total brain fart. Oh man, that's going to bug me for the rest of the show, and I'm going to find it later. And my sincerest apologies. I know him well. I just can't. I'm totally blanking. Anyway, thank you guys all for being here. Tonight's show is going to be a little bit different. Not too much, but just I'm going to bring on my wife, Angie, because we know what Q4 is all about. We know what it's like not to have sleep, to have a million things going through your head. Just all the stuff, right? And we know what it's like to work the 12 and 16-hour days and 10-hour minimums and all that. We're pretty familiar with that just coming off of Q4. But, I kind of wonder, and of course I talked to Angie about this, but I wanted her to come on and just give her honest kind of feedback of the other side of it. When we're missing from the household, basically, which during Q4 you are to a large extent, how does that affect how everything else runs? If 10 months, 11 months out of the year, things are one way, how is it for that month to 6 weeks where you are just nose down, hard at it, just killing yourself? So Angie is trying to come on. There should be a button for you to hit that says start video. Hopefully you can find it. If not, I can bring you on if I can find you in the list somewhere. Let's see, there we go. We will lower the hand. We will, did you start your video? Are you on? Because it says to stop video. We can unmute you. We got that part. All right, looks like your video should be working. Are you on here now?
Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, baby. All right. We probably should have worked on this prior to actually starting the show, but that's how things go. All right. So everybody out there, this is my wife, Angie. She is the definite better half of everything. And so I wanted some feedback or your input or whatever. How does Q4 affect the family when we are out there doing what we know how to do, which is just kill it on Amazon? And, we're in the stores, like I said, 6-8 hours a day. Then you come home and you're packing, you're shipping, you're answering customer questions, dealing with all that. We know what it's like from the business side. What's it like from the family side?
Well, it's very difficult as a spouse to have a husband who works from home but isn't at home and is going back and forth like a crazy person, back and forth, packing stuff, shipping. UPS is coming all the time. And now we have our niece that works in the house with her friends, and it's like utter chaos. People here, all the time. I'm trying to have some semblance of stability for the kids, and so it's rough.
Yeah, it's kind of not there, and especially during Q4 when UPS stopped. He was coming by twice a day, once to drop off stuff, and then coming at night to pick up whatever we had packed during the day. FedEx, USPS, post office, everybody was coming in. And and now we have, and funny thing about teenagers, they travel in packs. So if you hire one, you don't really hire one because she's going to bring her little roadies with her, and they all show up. And our house is not built to have, we're in a small place. I mean, altogether, it's about 2,000 square feet, but 400 of that is a garage, or it's maybe 2,100 square feet. But yeah, anyway, 400 is a garage. So we got like 1,700 living space, only about a 14 by 14 packing area if the garage can't be used. And once it gets filled up with product, it can't. So yeah, we end up with my niece, actually both nieces and two of her friends normally. So four of them show up. There's already four of us here. It becomes pretty tight. So what about the schedule? How were you affected by the schedule of me not being here? And because it's not just me and you, this applies to all of us. Everyone that works in this business, we're kind of forced to abandon our families almost for about a 6-week period. It's just the way it is. I mean, you get the nice payout on the back end, but how hard is it to run the household without us available?
Running the household, used to have a regular job. So I'm kind of used to having to do a lot of stuff. But when I'm used to you being home and being able to pick Garrett up, after school, and all of a sudden it becomes an issue being able to pick him up after school because you're busy. The biggest impact on our schedule, I would say, was on your sleep schedule. You did not sleep at all. And that affected just the overall environment.
See, that's interesting because I really, as much as I've talked to you about it, I didn't realize that it's actually a bigger impact having so many people here. It sounds like than just the fact that I wasn't here for a little while during those 6 weeks, and the sleep schedule. Yeah, I know it affected me. I didn't realize it had any effect on you guys, but yeah, you just can't sleep. I mean, I couldn't shut it down for more than about 4 hours at a time. And I would wake up for a couple hours and then go back to sleep for a couple hours. So I would get anywhere from 6 to 8 hours in a given period, in 24 hours. But man, trying to sleep more than 4 hours, couldn't do it. It just wasn't possible. So that's interesting to hear that had an effect on you as well. How about the kids? Did I miss anything with them during that time?
Not really. We were already on vacation pretty much when Q4 really hit. So it was just us trying to stay out of the way and let you do your thing. And someone had asked, when was the last time I parked my car in the garage? I don't know when was the last time I parked my car in the garage.
Yeah, it was prior to Q4 of last year. So it's been a year and a few months now. And I've asked you about that, though, if you want the garage back. Now, I don't know that it would be feasible. I'm not sure how we could swing it, but you don't seem too upset about not being able to park in the garage.
I'm probably the most laid back person that Dwayne could be married to. So not parking in the garage doesn't bother me all that much. It was Daniel that had asked about the garage question. I just saw his name pop back up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Daniel Kretz is up in North Carolina. Yeah, you are definitely the most laid back person in the world. Thank God, because otherwise it just would not work. But yeah, the garage I think bothers me more than it does you, just because I don't want you having to park out in the driveway. But I just, outside of possibly, and this is something that we discussed the other day, outside of possibly getting a storage unit, like an outbuilding, where we could move some of the stuff that's either in the garage or some of the things that need to be prepped. Use that instead of the garage. That's about the only way you could get back in, but that's a little ways out.
Someone had asked about when you spent time with the family. When did you stop? Q4 it's a very small window. So we see him plenty. He spends lots of time with us. He's there whenever I need him to pick Garrett up. He's the main thing because he's 8. Our other son's 13, so he's a little easier to maneuver around with. But as far as like spending time with the family, anytime I need him, he's there. And a lot more than he was when he used to work at his other job. We hardly saw him, and when he did come home, he was tired, and by the time he got home, our kids were getting ready to go to bed for school the next day. So Q4, even though, it does impact us, it's a very small window of time where we're not seeing him.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. When I was at AT&T, I wouldn't get home till, at least 6 o'clock most nights anyway. At that time, the kids were younger and going to bed around 7:30. So yeah, it was come home, eat dinner, go to bed. I barely saw them. So I definitely see them more now, even with the crazy schedule. I may not be totally available, but I am here. And yeah, if something needs to be done, then, the flexibility of this job, even when it's at its peak, is still always there. You always have options as to what you're going to do, what takes priority. May not be what you want to do, but you can prioritize, and the things that need to be done, if Garrett needs to be picked up, or if a doctor's appointment has to be kept, that kind of stuff, then you make it happen. So you maybe don't source that day. Now you got to make up for it the next day. You're going to work twice as hard the next day. But as far as Karen's question as to when that started, I would say some of the prep work started in early November, but the just nose down crazy hours, they don't really start until after Black Friday. Black Friday is the first day of the big sales where you see, I got to be in the store. Those items that are going to be the hot sellers are really taking form, and you want to grab as many as you possibly can. So, Black Friday, and then this year, the shipping was nuts. The receive times were absolutely ridiculous. So we pushed hard from about Black Friday through maybe the 11th or 12th of December, which is only about a 3-week window. And then that was it. I said, forget it. Christmas is done. So, and Karen said, oh, go ahead.
All right. Having because this is the first year we've had my niece help, having our niece help and her friends help, I think made a bigger difference. He would have been much more busy and much more unavailable had they not been at the house pretty much every day after school, packing for hours and on the weekends.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't have done it without him. I could not have pushed the volume that we did without those guys. The only person I know that could do it by themselves is Goose, because he's crazy. But I'm not a crazy Asian. He is. That's cool. Not this guy. No way. So they were totally invaluable. And what was the question I saw? Oh, Karen also asked, do you hire anyone to do shopping too? No. I do all the shopping still. I have not gotten to the point where I feel comfortable. So much of it is kind of subjective. I don't have these power sourcing lists where it's just, I'm going to go to the store and buy this and this and this. And by the time I do, I just might as well go to the store myself, I guess. I have not found that person that I could say, go do this, or give them an idea. And so much of the stuff changes. You may go to the store today and it's no good. Go to the store tomorrow and it's great. Well, I can't really give a person a list and tell them only buy this, don't buy that. I need someone that would be able to kind of think on their feet and do that. And I just haven't found a person full-time that I could send out into the stores. And I enjoy doing it. I would go nuts if all I had to do was sit home and order wholesale stuff. I'd go crazy. I like being in the stores. I like getting out and talking to the managers, seeing what products are there. I went to 2 stores today and the department heads knew me. One of them, I hadn't been there in a few months. I actually didn't go during all of Q4. And, they kind of laughed and said, hey, we got those products that you like. I said, cool, and had a little conversation. Walmart toy department, the head of the Walmart toy department, she knows me. We talked about her vacation schedule and all that. I like that kind of stuff. I mean, if all I did was sit in front of the computer, I would absolutely hate it. So no, I don't see outsourcing the RA side of it anytime soon.
Mindy had asked a question about whether or not I help in the business. And the answer to that is, I work full-time too. I'm a full-time speech therapist, but I do help in the business, sometimes under duress. I A lot of what I help him do is more monotonous types. The packing to me is more monotonous type stuff. But when my niece wasn't coming because she decided that she was done packing until after the new year, I did buckle down and I helped. So I do help. I don't help as much as I probably should, but most of my energy goes into letting him do his thing, me watching the kids, doing homework, cooking dinner, just sort of the wifely stuff.
Yeah, that's true. We actually work horribly together. We have a great marriage, but when we work together, it's awful. It is just, we are so at odds because I am off the cuff, just go 8 different directions at once, kind of no schedule whatsoever. Angie is very regimented, is very schedule oriented. If it is not written down and step by step, it just doesn't work for her. So it does not work for us to work together in long stints. But she did help out tremendously when my niece bailed on me. That was one. As invaluable as she was leading up to Christmas, the fact that she just said, well, I'm not coming back till after New Year's, and just like bailed for 2-week period, I was not impressed with that. But we got the stuff out. Life goes on. My niece did come back tonight with her gaggle of friends and our other niece. And so everything's getting back to normal, but it's just life, I guess. And yes, you do a great job of taking care of everything else so that I can work in the business. And I've told you guys time and again that if you do not have a supportive spouse, I don't know how you make it in this business. If you have somebody that's always negative or telling you it won't work or doesn't see that it can work, has no faith in you, and I hear those stories, guys. There are spouses out there that go, I don't know why you're wasting time on Amazon. That's never going to work. I don't know how you make it because this is so difficult when you have a supportive spouse. Boy, to have somebody on the other end of the spectrum would just be absolutely killer.
I love the envoy. The only time I don't love the envoy is when Dwayne takes it to pull the trailer.
Yeah, she absolutely took over the envoy, loved it from day one. I did not see that coming. So the truck that I bought from Harvey to pull the trailer became Angie's primary car. And right now, the other car that she used to drive is literally full of bubble wrap because I had nowhere to put it. So I filled it up with bubble wrap, and it's just sitting in the garage, or not in the, sitting in the driveway, doing nothing because she loves the envoy. But I'm taking it tomorrow because I'm taking the trailer. So yeah, those. Again, see the sacrifices she makes. She's going to drive the minivan so that I can have the envoy. And yes, the windows are well protected. Yeah, I thought about it. I actually had to sit in it for a second to like roll up the windows or something. It was almost like the scene out of, what's the movie with Sylvester Stallone? And the dog snoring. Yeah, Demolition Man. There you go. Where the whole car like fills up with this encased cream thing, whatever. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like when you sit in the car. You're just encased by bubble wrap. It's like nothing could happen to you. So, all right. Any other thoughts before I let you go? I know you had a long day and we're actually past your bedtime. Believe it or not, guys, she usually goes to bed about 8 o'clock. So normally when I'm doing the show, she's already in bed. So any closing thoughts, baby?
Not unless anybody has any questions. I start, him and I have pretty different schedules. I start my day at 5:30 in the morning because I work in an elementary school. And yeah, so I'm usually in bed by 8, but I know that he really wanted me on to talk. My initial reaction when Dwayne said he was going to quit his job. I think actually I'm the one who pushed him into quitting his job a little bit just because, oh, there's Garrett, just because I saw how unhappy he was, and him and I have been together for such a long time that seeing him unhappy made me unhappy, and it impacted our whole family. So speaking of, so seeing him so unhappy and it having an impact on our family, I think I just got really tired of it and was just like, just quit. And he would do the same thing for me. I mean, because we just have come to realize that our happiness in our jobs, I mean, it impacts your family. So, I just wanted him to be happy. I could care less what he was going to do.
And I thank you for that. You were absolutely wonderful. From the minute I said, I don't, I hate it. I'm driving an hour to work. I'm driving an hour home. I'm there for 9 hours, plus the time to get ready. Basically you're devoting 12 hours a day to something you hate. And yeah, that came across. I mean, that had an effect on me, which affects you, which affects the family. And there's just nothing worse. And thank you for being so supportive, because again, I think a lot of spouses would say, you're crazy. You're giving up $65,000 a year, benefits, union protection, all that kind of junk, oh, you got a secure job, I said, I can't do it. And you're right. You said you can't do it. If it makes you that unhappy, quit, because it was bad. So
I saw a couple other questions pop up.
Let's see. Diana asked, does Angie like to shop with you?
Without the kids, yes. It's a little more difficult to let him source when the kids are with us. The person who likes to shop with him the most is my sister. So because my sister also sources for my dad and my brother and their business. So occasionally the whole family goes out. We didn't do that this year, but occasionally the whole family will go out and source together. So it's a lot of fun. And it's just really funny how much they all have in common. And it's like one big, you get together, everybody's working, everybody's talking, and,
Yeah, and Harvey said, isn't your family taking over Savannah? Yeah, we try not to leave much. And it's funny, as much as I enjoy shopping with Lee and with Mandy, who are my brother and sister-in-law, and we have fun, for the most part, we are attracted to totally different things. They are more margin oriented, where I am, the low rank, fast turn stuff. Excuse me. They like shoes and clothing a lot. I do some shoes and clothing, but I'm heavy in, toys, grocery, home, those kinds of things. So it actually works out pretty well that we can go into a store and learn from each other and fill up our carts at the same time with a lot of different stuff. They introduce me to things that I otherwise wouldn't source for, and vice versa. So, and yeah, Mandy's just fun to source with, because, the fact that she only likes to buy like 2 or 3 of something, that's another big difference, where, and Lee will do the same thing as I will. He'll take the whole shelf, and I'll take the whole shelf. Mandy will take like 3 and go, well, that should be enough. No, you clear out this store, and then you go to the next store and you clear that one out too. But that's just not her style. So, yeah, it's always great to source with others. And Karen asked, oh, here's a softball for you. Are you proud with how well he did this year?
Yes, I'm always proud of him.
Oh,
He's amazing, and he can do anything that he sets his mind to, and I'm very proud of him. He works hard.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I was proud of how everything went this year. Yeah, enough of that sappy stuff. But yeah, no, we worked very hard. I know you worked hard, taking care of the family, cooking dinner, taking care of me, reminding me to eat, which is, usually a good thing. Just all that kind of stuff, trying to get me to sleep, even though it just wasn't possible. You did a great job of taking care of me and the family so that I could take care of business. So thank you, sweetie. All right. And I am going to cut you off now. I am going to let you go to bed, because it's what?
Bye.
Yeah. So let's stop there. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. And appreciate the feedback. I actually learned some things that I didn't know.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah.
The light bulbs in your bathroom, they're starting to run out of energy.
Okay.
Because whenever I turn them on, like puts out a flicker and then it turns on.
Okay, I'll take care of it in a little bit.
Usually he's in bed right now too. So.
Yeah, if you go take care of that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night.
All right. Love you, baby. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
All right. So there you go. That is Mrs. Fast Turn to go take care of the kids.
Mrs. Fast.
Yeah, maybe I should mute her so that we don't hear that in the background. There we go. Everybody's muted. So yeah, a little bit of insight from the spouse's point of view, and again, I kind of learned some things in that too. I thought it was more hectic on the schedule, and apparently it was not that big a deal that I was working so much, and the sleep schedule was the big problem. So interesting to hear, and I think we all have that problem. None of us sleep worth anything. I mean, there's just always so much to do, so much going on in the back of your mind. It's almost impossible to sleep. So, all right. With that being said, there is no more road to 500K. I do want to talk a little bit about some goal setting for 2016, regardless of what your goals are. What I'm trying to say is my goals should not be your goals. Your goals should not be anyone else's. It is up to each individual to make up their own goals. Tom says, March to 1 million. I would like to do 1 million. I started to run the numbers. And with that 1 million, more importantly, I do want to raise my margins somewhat. I think the business has grown to the point where I can afford to let things sit a little longer. So, while this is Fast Turn Radio and while the whole business was based on fast turns, and that is still something that is near and dear to my heart and comes to me totally naturally, I need to start building margins. And some of that is, like I bought Christmas stuff, which I have never done before. I bought Christmas stuff that I intend to sell throughout the year. And worst case scenario, I sell it next year at a nice profit, because we did make a substantial amount of money this year, and our bank account is fairly large. So there's no reason to leave money just sitting there. Day to day, I will still do fast turns. But when I see those, I guess what I would call investment opportunities, where I know the margins are going to be much higher, even though the sales may be slower, I'm going to go ahead and invest in those products and let them sell throughout the year. Christmas lights is an example. I've bought dozens and dozens and dozens of them. I know they're going to do well next year. I know the prices that I paid for them this year are ridiculously low. So why not? That's money that, it's very little, anywhere from $1 to $5. It was ridiculously inexpensive. So I can buy, a few hundred lights, and it doesn't put a dent in the account. So why not do some of that? So yes, while selling $1 million would be nice. And it is kind of that next step, I think. And, we did 100,000 the first year, 200,000 the second year, and well over 500,000 in our third year. So yeah, it would be nice to progress one more time to the $1 million mark. Can I do that without a warehouse? I think probably. We really are considering a storage unit to put outside, maybe just roughly a 20 by 20 space. I don't want to add on to the garage. I don't like that idea. Yeah, no, that will not be my apartment, Daniel. That is not going to be a place for me to sleep. Goose is the only one I know that sleeps in a storage unit. The rest of us actually sleep inside our houses. But no, that would free up some space. And, like those Christmas products that I bought, I'm not going to send all those in right away. Well, I got to put them somewhere. And if nothing else, I need to clean out what's in the garage and get it out. All right. Diana is asking, because of Amazon asking for invoices 180 days or less, I do not want to hold longer than 6 months. I was asked for a receipt for a pie face game. I had to be 180 or less. Yeah, I don't, with my big problem is with the long-term storage fees being every 6 months now. They're doing half, they're basically charging you twice a year. So where it was roughly $22 a cubic foot every year, now they're doing $11 per cubic foot twice a year, and God forbid it stays there a year, because then you pay $11 at the 6 month mark and you pay $22 for that same product per cubic foot at the 1 year mark. So now you paid, $33 where you used to pay 22. It's getting expensive to hold things over 6 months. So, keeping that in mind, what I want to do is take some of those Christmas products, and rather than having them sit in my garage, I want them to sit in a storage unit for maybe the next 6 weeks. And then after February 15th, I can send them in, and it's no problem. We're going to go through August without an issue, and we'll be all the way back through to February before it becomes a problem again. Mindy got a bed in his conversion van and will sleep in it when he is on the road. I am not sleeping in a van. I will pay for a hotel. It's just the way I am. That's just me. But anyway, so as we talk about goals a little bit, set your own goals. Understand where your business is at and what you want to accomplish. Okay. Just because I set a goal. Now I did have some people that said, thank you for the road to 500K, because it inspired them to do the same sort of thing. So if I can inspire you, by all means, yes, please push, do whatever it is you need to do to set maybe a little higher bar than you would expect, but always be cognizant of your situation. Some people are part-time, where I am totally full-time. Some don't have the startup capital that I have grown over the last few years. So anyway, I am looking at $1 million, but I do want to increase my margins. I was not totally happy with the margins. We ended up at about 15% after everything was paid for. Excuse me. We ended up at about 15%, which was below where I wanted to be. But that was, I shouldn't say that's below where I wanted to be. That was normal for what our business has been doing for the last 3 years. I would like to shift that a little bit. I would like to shift and maybe come in at that 18 to 22% range, and raise our margins a little bit. So I'm going to work on that. I want to sell some higher ASP stuff, because I found it's easier to sell, $1 million worth of $100 stuff than it is to sell $1 million worth of $20 stuff. Now, will we sell $20 stuff? Absolutely. But what's come to mind is I started to break down the numbers, and Harvey pointed out this was kind of in a perfect world scenario, that for me, selling at a 2X, I have to roughly spend $40,000 per month, right? It's $40,000 a month, 12 months puts you at 480,000. You sell it at 2X, that puts you just shy of $1 million, 960. So somewhere between $42,000, $43,000 a month, if you break it down that way. But okay, let's take $40,000 a month. That's $10,000 a week. That's $1,500 a day, 7 days a week. That's a lot of money to spend, and I don't know that I can do it. I'm going to try. Obviously Harvey is able to do it. All the young guns, all 5 of them, just went out there and busted $1 million. The only slacker in the group was right here. I came in at half that. No excuse. I've been doing it longer than they have. There's no reason that I can't, except they worked harder than I did, and they worked smarter than I did. So not totally happy about it, but I think I can reach that $1 million. It's attainable. But I do want to do it with some higher ASP stuff. Harvey says, buy shoes. Yeah, man, shoes get returned a lot. This is coming from a guy that's an admin of Threads and Treads. And I'll be honest with you, the way I buy shoes has to change. All right. It absolutely has to. And I don't buy the Threads and Treads flips. I leave those for the people that are paying members of the group. So don't misunderstand. I was buying shoes from places like Sam's Club, where I was buying kid shoes, right? So I go in and buy kid shoes at $13 and sold them at $27, $28. Well, that only left me maybe $7 in profit, which isn't bad, except when you get, I think our shoe returns were running 14%, and Mindy put up there for 12 to 14%. You know, you get that little chart that they email to you. And yeah, so I'm getting 14% returned back to me, and I'm paying $5 to have those put back into inventory. I was like, okay, shoes are awesome, but it's got to be done differently. I've got to do shoes where the margins are not 2x, but closer to 3x or higher. And I got to get away from kid shoes that are 12 for $25 and move on to, you know, adult shoes that are 20 for 60 kind of a thing. If I can do that, then shoes make sense. Doing shoes the way I do toys doesn't make any sense at all because of the return rate. So, you know, you got to understand that shoes is a different monster. And Harvey, actually, if you guys didn't catch it, go to ecommercemomentum.com. That is Steven Peterson's podcast. And he interviewed Harvey. And Harvey talks about shoes and exactly how he does them. And how he does them is the right way. And it made a ton of sense. The way I was doing shoes, not so smart. I was going too deep in too many sizes. I was not really giving consideration to my margins and to the returns and all that kind of stuff. So that was not worth it. It wasn't worth the effort. I'm still getting Heelys back that I bought in April last year for, you know, 16. I think they were what, 1675, 1625, somewhere in there. So I was selling them for $35. Same problem. Once I sell them, they seem to boomerang back about 10 to 15% of the time. That doesn't work very well. And now I got to figure out what to do with all these. I got to inspect them because I did away with the auto inventory thing where they repackage it because I was getting too many sold as used, not new, whatever. So that was bothering me. So yeah, shoes, I need to adjust how I attack them. And just reading through, just kind of reading through some of the stuff here. Harvey says, good point, lots of returns. No one should sell shoes but me. Yeah. No, I am not trying to scare you guys away from shoes. Do not misunderstand. You know, what I'm trying to say is you got to do shoes differently than you do toys. Mindy says, figure each pair costs an average of $2 extra because of returns. So that kind of makes sense. That's not a bad way to go with it. And yes, 20 for 100 would be just fine with me, Mindy. I would like that. He said, let's go shoe sourcing one of these days. Yeah, and I don't know shoes. Honestly, that's another problem that I ran into. Is I don't know one brand from another or one style from another. I mean, yeah, I know a Nike is good, but I don't know, is this Nike good? Is that, you know, there are so many variations. And what size is a kid buying versus an adult? And it just, the ranks are hard to read. I am not good in shoes. Gomper says the lack in velocity just kills me. Yeah, it can be tough because like I was selling Toms, again, that I bought at Sam's Club last year, probably about this time. And some of them were great. You know, I bought them for, I think, $20, $28, $29, and they flew. You know, they were ranked, I mean, it single digits. But there were so many sizes, so many colors, so many variations that even though the rank was just ridiculously low, single digits or maybe double digits, that I got stuck with some of those that I just had the wrong size color combination. It was just a bad choice. And I don't know. I had a hard time. So yeah, I can see the velocity on the right color and the right size is insane. The velocity on the wrong choice is just not there. So. And Goose says, in my opinion, shoes is going to be a very, very great addition to boost your ASP. I agree. It could be great. I just got to get better at buying them. Mindy plans a 90-day turnaround. And Goose says, all right, 200K shoe sales by the end of the year. How about it? No, I don't think I want to sell 200,000 in shoes, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Craig Burrows says, I don't go for many variations, few variations, good athletic brands. Tom says he hasn't figured out the rank thing either. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think you almost can't go by rank, in my opinion. You got to know the branch, you got to know the sizes. I kind of see what's popular, but yeah, I struggled quite a bit. So anyhow, where are we at on time? All right, we got about 20 minutes left. Mindy says rank is a big factor if you understand it correct, but it's part of a bigger puzzle. I don't know, man. I'll take your word for it. If you're having success with shoes, then so be it. I'm telling you, rank is almost meaningless, other than being it's an indicator, but man, it doesn't tell you what size. It doesn't tell you which color. And if there are several sizes and colors in that variation, you can just throw it out the window. And yeah, the reviews will tell you the colors. That's true. On some of the if you look at the recent reviews, it'll show you exactly what the person bought for the color and the size. So there are some indicators in there. That's very true. But all right, that's some of what I'm shooting for, though. In 2016 will be higher ASP. $1 million would be nice. If I don't make it, I'm not going to be totally brokenhearted. I might be a little bit upset, but we'll see. What else? 2016 goals. I guess as far as goal setting, that's probably the only couple of things that I've really thought about. I will tell you, if you are not planning your 2016 schedule, you need to do that, both just in the selling season and in the conference social networking season. I would strongly encourage you guys to look at some of the available events that are taking place, at least in the first half of the year. The ones I know off the top of my head, Mindy has his online conference coming up next week. Scam Power Conference, you can still get tickets to. That's in March 21st and 22nd in Orlando. There is ASD that is going to take place in the end of February, early March. So while that's not a conference, it is a networking event, in my opinion. There is Ecom Chicago that comes up, I think, in June or July, or not Ecom Chicago, excuse me, Midwest Ecom. So those are the only conferences that I know about, or networking events that I know about. Those are all opportunities that you guys should give some serious consideration to. Edie is saying CES 2016 in Vegas right now. So, okay, I haven't heard anything about CES whatsoever. So I guess that's a possibility. If you're in Florida, there is a Feedvisor Summit next Wednesday, according to, CES. Oh, all right, Edie, gotcha. Not CES as in Jim Cockrum's event, CES as in Consumer Electronics Show. Thank you, Linda, for for the exact name on that, so I didn't have to try to think of it. But yes, I have heard of the other CES. All right, thank you. Consumer electronics. So there you go. Start looking at your trade shows, your networking opportunities, all that kind of stuff. Oh, yes, thank you, Rhonda. Scanner Monkey Cruise and the Sea Commerce Cruise. So those are two cruises that are coming up early part of the year. For me personally, the only two, that I am definitely attending are the Scam Power Conference and ASD. So those two I will be at. I am not doing the cruises, as awesome as they sound, and as much as I would love to hang out with Jay and John and anybody else that's going on the Scanner Monkey Cruise. And then you have John Lawson and Chris Green and Vicky Conley and everybody on the Sea Commerce part of that. I would love to hang out with those people, but I just can't take a week out of my life to go on a cruise. It's just not possible. But if you can, those are, again, opportunities. So plan that kind of stuff. Know what your 2016, at least the first half, is going to look like. Also, start looking at your dates for selling. For selling. If you're not looking at Valentine's Day, you're already behind. I put in some Valentine's Day wholesale orders today. I'm late. I'm starting to look at the Easter stuff already. So start looking at, if you're going to do anything for St. Patrick's Day, that's coming up very quickly. You got Mother's Day in May, you got Father's Day in June. It seems like that's a long way off, but trust me, guys, it is not. So you got to start looking at your selling schedule, look at your networking schedule. All this stuff is part of 2016. All of it is hopefully going to help you grow your business and make 2016 whatever it is you want it to be. All right. That's the best way I can put it. The reason we do this job is for the flexibility. The reason we put up with the headaches of owning our own business is the flexibility. So make those plans, understand what you want your 2016 to look like, and then go make it happen. That's the best advice I can give you. Julie hates boats, so she's not going. Hey, Jay Bain is in the house. Let's see, Tom Ogden, you can source the gift shops. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've tried doing the work and play thing. It does not work for me. John Grollo is great at mixing the two. I can't do it. I'm either on vacation or I'm working. I tried to do a conference, family business conference kind of thing. It was not happening. I just got a message from Mindy. He is going to give away a ticket to the MDI conference. So if you want to come on and give that away, I don't know what you have in mind, how you're going to give it away, whatever. But yeah, if you want to, absolutely. And Harvey, maybe I can in Orlando. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, that thread went a whole different direction than I thought. All right, how many hairs in Mindy's beard? There you go. If you can guess how many hairs in Mindy's beard, you can win a ticket. Yeah, I don't know which plan is, but yeah, you got something. Come up with something. You can come on and give away a ticket to somebody. Other than that, I don't know that I'm going to the numbers. I can show you what's going on with my numbers, but let me assure you it's nothing impressive. I looked at it today, which I don't normally do before a show because I like to be surprised with everybody else. But yeah, we've done like 5,000 so far year to date. It's ridiculous. There's really not a lot to show you. So, okay, Leron saying, please, what, you want to see the numbers? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to look at. I'd be more than happy to show you. Oh, okay. No, Leron does not want to see the numbers. Yeah, there's nothing there. Please, Mindy, put a shirt on. Yeah, if you're going to come on camera, please, absolutely put a shirt on. Jay, thanks for stopping by. He's going to put the little ones to bed. So good night, Jay, the king scanner monkey himself. All right, Mindy. Dude, I'm about to wrap it up and call it a night early. So if you're going to give away a ticket, there you are. Hop on here and do it.
Hey, Dwight, how's it going?
It's going great, man. How are you?
Good. I was just thinking, you were going on about all the conferences and opportunities, and I just figured, you know what, you always do so much, so I wanted to give away a ticket for your show, Dude,
that's awesome. I appreciate that.
I kind of like the beard one, but I don't think there's really a way we can figure that out. But hey, I'll tell you this. Why don't we make it about something you said earlier? Our first one to answer. Maybe what were your sales? Did you said your sales from like 2 years ago or 1 year ago or?
Yeah, I gave my sales for my first year, second year, and now third year.
Did you want to do that, or you want to? Well, we already got it. Okay, all 3 years to count. Got to be in one.
I think
you got to be within. You got to be within the range, and I think we got Stacy. Stacy's right at it, right?
I think Stacy. Yep, Stacy just barely beat Craig to it. So, yeah,
there you go.
100,000, 200,000, 500,000.
Hey, Stacy, send me a private PM on Facebook, and we'll get you in.
All right, awesome.
Great show, and it was definitely interesting hearing your wife's perspective. Definitely some of the things I see, even though my wife works with me, I definitely see the same things. Without her doing dinners for the kids and all that, definitely couldn't.
Yeah, when I'm left in charge of the kids, man, it's like, Hot Pockets or Chef Boyardee or whatever you can find in the cabinet, go for it. I am not good at feeding the kids. Yeah.
Forget about that. I'm feeding myself. When I'm on the road, I eat like one meal a day. but,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great show. I'm going to get out of here.
All right, man. I appreciate you giving away the ticket. Thanks for coming.
Anytime.
And maybe we'll have to have you on to talk about shoes one of these days, because apparently,
you know, one of these days because I do hit not right next to you, but I do get in the Georgia area sometimes. One of these days on one of my road trips, you'll have to drive like an hour and meet up with me, and we'll do, or when we're by Scan Power, maybe whatever. I want to take your shoe source on one of these days. Show you how to do it.
all right, man. Sounds good.
Take care. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Mindy. Yeah, and I did actually have just a taste of shoe sourcing with Harvey when I went up there, which was awesome. But I didn't learn enough, because all he did was go, yeah, you want these, you want these, you want these, and he threw stuff in my cart, and they're all sold, by the way. They flew out the door. He knew exactly what he was talking about. So Harvey is another one that knows shoes very well. But man, when I'm out there doing it myself, not so good. Yeah, ramen noodles. My kids are ramen noodle fanatics. As I was when I was younger. I can't afford to do that anymore. It's kind of sticks with you a little too much. But yeah, ramen noodles. The kids know how, and we get the little special bowls. Tells them just how much water to put in. They got it. It's good stuff. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much for joining us. And Edie says, have a fast turn coaching spree with Harvey. We might be able to do that. I am going to start doing a monthly coaching group only spree, or Zoom, I guess. I shouldn't say spree, but the Zoom just for the coaching clients. I know that the group is kind of quiet. That's kind of by design. I mean, I tell you guys what I have. I've told you all the secrets that I know. So I do want to get together with you guys once a month, though, just to answer any questions you have, kind of keep you up to date. One thing I am going to start doing, if the group wants it, if it becomes too spammy, I won't. But as it occurred to me, to reach 1 million, I am going to have to spend somewhere around $10,000 a week. I want to start documenting what I spent and on what. So, every day or two, I'm just going to post, like today, spent $1,000, roughly $1,000 RA and $2,200 wholesale. So I'm going to start posting, and that'll help me track also. And I know there's some numbers freaks, I mean, like super freaks in that coaching group that will let me know if I am off track or how much I've spent year to date, because I won't know. I don't have a clue how much I spend. I go out, put it on the card. When I see the statement at the end of the month, I kind of have an idea. But I do want to start updating the group with just the what I spent, and we'll see how that goes. See if it gets any traction, what kind of feedback, whatever. Just something to try for this week, or try for the coaching group for this year. But all right, thank you guys for joining me. We will do it again next week. Have no idea what the topic will be. We'll just kind of see where things take us. And for right now, we're just going to wing it, because that's what I do. Unlike Angie, who schedules everything, I don't plan anything. So thank you to the 50 or so that joined us live. Greatly appreciated. Thank you to my awesome wife for joining me on camera. That was terrific. And like I said, I learned from her, which was kind of cool. And so everyone, have a good night. Hopefully you have a profitable start to the new year. Get your plans straight now. Get everything ready to go. Kill 2016. That's my advice to you. All right. Talk to you guys next week. And Alan, you are late, so you have to catch a replay. I'll post it in the group as soon as it's ready. You guys have a great night. See you next week.